everyone, and welcome to Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. In the news, the Hopkins County United Way moved closer to their $165,000 goal at their second report meeting on Tuesday. Another $5,689.46 came in on Tuesday. That brought their campaign's current total to $41,410.54. Weekly report meetings will be continuing into November. From all indications, this year's Net Bio Cattlemen's Classic and Ribeye Roundup was a success this past Saturday. The downtown plaza was filled with people. All 1,200 tickets available were purchased, and many stayed around for the evening concert featuring the music of the Mike Ryan Band.
We're all appreciative of EMS workers when we need them. Let's meet EMS Director Brent Smith, who is also Chief Operations Officer of the Hopkins County Hospital District.
One of our main focuses at Hopkins County EMS is to be integrated into the communities we serve. We do lots of public relations events. We go out to a lot of the rodeos and fairs and different things on the square, and we try to interact with people, so we do kind of have some familiar faces prior to them calling us for help. But we're always glad to, assist people when we can, and that's what we're there for.
Well, over the last few years, more and more emphasis has been put on those people who represent first response. And so, of course, EMS and many others fall into that category now.
Yes, ma'am. So one of the newest things, the Texas legislature recognized communications officers as first responders through the legislature, which is an important aspect. So police officers and firefighters and paramedics and now communications officers, regardless of the entity that they are a dispatcher for, are all recognized as first responders through the legislature now.
Okay, wonderful. Well, you came to us here in your present job, I'll say, in about 2007.
That's correct.
But you were on board prior to that. Can you kind of give us a background?
So my background, I've been in EMS since 1992 is when I started in EMT school. I've been in EMS since 1992, and I've been in management of emergency medical services in some form or fashion since 1996.
Okay. And you've seen many changes in Hopkins County and through our hospital and the different ways that we serve the public.
Sure, absolutely. Healthcare is a constantly evolving industry. EMS is a fairly young industry when it comes to public safety and public service. EMS wasn't truly recognized as a public service entity until the early 70s. So compared to our first responder partners of police and fire, EMS is actually a newer industry, so to speak. So it's constantly changing. Just every year, new technology comes out that really helps. New technology helps inside the hospital. Unfortunately, a lot of that stuff is very expensive, and we've been very blessed. Our Hopkins County Hospital Foundation, they have blessed us with a lot of equipment. So, of course, we are very thankful to the Hospital Foundation as well.
We were talking briefly earlier, Brent and I, about the government, let's say, of healthcare here in Hopkins County, and it really is more of a complicated subject, but just to hit it briefly, there were 3 entities, and now that's sort of been divided.
So, Hopkins County Hospital District was enacted from legislature, which is a political subdivision of the state of Texas. So, as most people are aware of, the hospital district is a taxing entity like the city and the county, but it is actually separate. It's not part of the city or the county. It's its own governmental entity. Then the hospital district ran hospital clinic operations and EMS, and then in 2016, the partnership with Christus Health Systems came about, and now Christus Health and the hospital district have a partnership that handles the operations between the hospital and the clinic, and EMS is solely under the district as a governmental entity.
Okay, and lots of good has come out of that. Now I want to focus on how people are glad to see you when they need you, and you come, and your people are there, and you're so capable. You just come in and act like this is what needs to be done.
So, from an aspect of a paramedic, when you go to EMT or paramedic school, one of the things that you realize early on is that you're going to be faced in a lot of different situations that you're not accustomed to being in. And truly, I feel the role of the paramedic, one, is to control the situation and remain calm and address that person's individual problem. It is an emergency to them, and regardless of what the situation may be, and that's our job, is to calm the situation, stabilize the situation, and transfer to definitive care or the appropriate hospital. And we have a lot of luxuries and benefits. My paramedics work closely with the emergency room staff at the hospital, and we work closely with other facets of the hospital, with the cath lab, stroke processes. So we are truly blessed in Hopkins County and the surrounding counties that we serve to have such an integrated component of the healthcare system. For an example, when we arrive on scene, we figure out initially what's going on. We stabilize the issue. We may accomplish A through Z. And then when we get to the hospital, we know exactly the hospital expectations, what the nursing staff is going to need or expect from us. And the continuity of care that's provided to the citizen is outstanding. Truly, the hospital emergency room is an outstanding emergency room. I've worked in EMS in Dallas. I've worked in the Longview area. And hands down, Christus Sulphur Springs is probably one of the best ERs I've been around.
That is so wonderful to hear and to know. Back on your schooling, briefly, what must an EMS person have received in training? So
to get into EMS, you can reach out to one of the local community colleges. There are a few private programs. In fact, there's one here in town through the Fire Academy that you can go to EMT school. There's a established requirement by the state Department of State Health Services of how many hours that you have to be in class and how many hours that you have to do clinical rotations. So you have a hands-on component, and then you also have classroom component. Generally, it takes approximately 2 to 2.5 years to make your way through all of it between EMT and paramedic school. And you have to become an EMT before you go to paramedic school. Okay. That's one of the requirements. And another piece that I'm truly excited about is here locally in Hopkins County this is the first year Sulphur Springs High School is having an EMT program through their HST and career clusters that they provide at the high school. So I'm excited that we're actually getting into that level. There's seniors in high school. I believe there's 11 or 12 of them. We look forward to them doing their clinical ride-outs with us and building that partnership with the high school to help our young students have a career path.
You say clinical ride-outs?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So what that involves is they initially come and shadow what we're doing as paramedics, and they slowly get into the aspects of treating the patients and do the hands-on to their level of what they're being trained in. And we are kind of their overseers and their kind of training officer. And then there's reports and paperwork they have to fill out, and we have to sign off on them and saying, yes, they have mastered this skill. They understand patient assessment. They know how to do splinting, some of the other facets. Whether they're one of the high school program kids through the EMT program at the high school, or they're from one of the local community colleges. And we do have affiliation agreements with 3 community colleges, okay, and the high school and the local fire academy. So we have 5 different clinical funnels come into Hopkins County EMS, and so we can pass off some of our knowledge to those and teach our future.
Are more EMS workers needed?
Absolutely. I will tell you, I'm also president-elect of the Texas Emergency Medical Service Alliance. It's a state trade organization. Of course, we go to Austin a lot to talk to the legislature about our needs in our industry. I'm proud to represent our region and be on that board. There is definitely a need for EMTs and paramedics in the rural setting. A lot of our local community colleges have a hard time filling their classes. And there's several variables there. But as far as it being a trade industry and going up through a community college program, we definitely see a shortage of paramedics in the rural setting. When you go to the urban areas, their payment structure is a little different. Wages may be a little bit higher. We are blessed through the hospital district. The board of the hospital district keeps us very competitively when it comes to salary and benefits. And like I say, we're very blessed. So we generally we as a service don't necessarily have a shortage, but our region does have a shortage. And we're always looking for good talent, good paramedics.
Are these workers always full-time or part-time?
So we have both. So currently we have 36 full-time paramedics on staff at Hopkins County EMS, and we run about 20 to 20 PRN personnel that we use as needed.
Okay. What else might we ask about our EMS team or teams?
Well, we have a long history here. We were established August 1st of 1983. We're very proud of our history. We've won numerous state awards. One of the most recent awards that I'm very proud of our organization, the American Heart Association, when it comes to chest pain, cardiac care, and stroke care. I believe it was in 2015 was the first year they offered. There's an award. It's called the Mission Lifeline Award through the American Heart Association. And basically it's measuring our performance in a chest pain and stroke situation based on outcomes of the patient. It's time driven. And we have received the gold award every year except for the very first year. And it's not because we didn't qualify for gold, but one of their requirements is you can't get gold your first year. You must be at least a silver first. Okay. So I'm very proud since 2015 we have excelled, and we have an outside entity that has, evaluated us on our care and the excellent care that we're providing.
Brent Smith, we're thrilled that you were able to come in today, and there's a whole bunch more questions that I would like to ask you, but I'm very happy to find out that now Sulphur Springs High School has a program for students to follow into your career path.
Absolutely.
And helping the public here in Sulphur Springs, Hopkins County. Excellent care through our EMS in the partnership with Christus Mother Frances Hospital.
Thank you very much.
Right. And thank you for your work and your service to our community.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
In sports, the Lady Cats volleyball team moved into a third-place tie in district with Texas High after a 3-0 win over Mount Pleasant Tuesday evening in the main gym at Sulphur Springs High School. The score was 25-20, 25-18, and 25-19. After the match, I talked with Lady Cats volleyball coach Bailey Dorn.
It was good to come back and get a win, especially after last week. Taking 2 losses, it was good to get back home and just get a win. The girls play well.
You look like you made a few changes with some positions and other things. You pleased with that? It looked a little smoother than usual.
I think so. Just after Friday, just thought about a lot of things, so it didn't feel like we played great at all on Friday, and so just trying to find what works best for us. I would have hoped we had figured out by now, but you just got to go with the flow and make changes as you need.
Anybody impress you tonight?
Sadie Washburn had a great game. Brooklyn Burnside, solid as usual. Sydney Washburn had some great swings at key points. Paris Pickett played a good game. She was the team high in dig. She had 13. And then I think we just served well. We did miss a lot of serves. We had some tough spots for them to pass up.
Yeah, you looked like you kind of made some changes there too, and the serving was much better tonight.
Yes, I think we just, even if it wasn't an ace, it was something that got them out of system where they could just get a set easily. So.
Well, I know this is not where you want to end, but you've got a 20-game winner now, 20-13 in your first team.
Woohoo! Woo! I know, and we're not done yet. I'm excited for the rest of the season. You know, we're fixing to finish up the first round on Friday, going to Texas High, and so I'm hoping we finish strong and then start the second round even stronger.
You kind of let the cat out of the bag the other day. You said they're a lot different than the team we played in Wills Point back in Wayno at the very beginning of the season.
That's right. You know, I think they've come together as a team, and so it's going to be a hard win for us on Friday, but I think if we get after it and just play our game, we'll be good.
And Texarkana, that's a tough place to play.
Yes, it is hard to go over there and play on their turf. You know, they've got an electric atmosphere at Texas High, and so, but I'm excited to play in it. I hope we rise to the occasion.
Yeah, it'd be much better 3-2 than 2-3.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Wildcats tennis coach Tony Martinez found out Tuesday night that his team will be facing Jacksonville in a bi-district match next Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. at Wills Point. The Indians ended up as the number 2 seed in their district after a 10-9 loss on Tuesday. Wildcats lost to Jacksonville 16-3 in a White House tournament back on August 15th. It was the Wildcats' second match that day. The Wildcats lost a warm-up match on the road against Anna Tuesday by the score of 14-5. Coach Martinez said the Wildcats did not take their talent with them on the road against Anna. Still, he said that 14-5 score was not indicative of how close the match really was. Jonah Kirkpatrick won his boys singles match 8-6 and teamed up with Jolie Cantu for an 8-0 mixed doubles win. Cantu also won her girls singles match by the score of 8-3. Logan Schumacher returned to the court from a foot injury that had sidelined him for 2 weeks to win his close match Tuesday 9-7. And Trinity Luckett won her girls singles match 8-3. There were also some heartbreakers for the Wildcats. Coach Martinez said that Aaron Lucas lost one of the toughest tiebreakers that he has ever seen to lose his match. And Carlos Lopez was up 7-5 before losing 9-7. Alex Ramiro was up 7-5 before losing 8-7. Lopez and Ramiro also lost their boys doubles match. They were down 5-1, rallied to go ahead 7-6 before losing 9-7. Wildcats are 6-12 for the season. And finally, this note: Wildcats football coach Greg Owens postponed his weekly media gathering Wednesday morning so he could attend the district cross-country meet in Mount Pleasant. I'll be talking with Coach Owens Thursday morning for tomorrow night's Channel 18 TV News. And that is Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. Thank you for joining me, and so long, everybody.